Hi, welcome back to Ballads, A Tinker's Dozen, the video book. Today we're going to read all of the 10th story behind the 10th song in the book. There are only 11. It's a Tinker's Dozen, remember. So if you're ready, we'll get this one. Enjoy. This is called His Promise He Did Rue. A song can lift the spirit with notes of honor and courage, even when the story that gave it life might stab it in the back in its telling. It was a sunny day in the south of England with only a few scattered clouds considering the effort it would take them to pass across the face of the sun on this decidedly non-British morning. A short round gentleman in lace and velvet, sporting a tricorn, with a long white feathery plume that bounced cheerily as he walked along the quay of the No. 1 Basin dry dock at the Portsmouth Royal Dockyards, stopped. He opened his coat, reached into the little pocket of his vest, and pulled out the little silver and enamel snuff box. He opened the lid of the C. Bilston Battersea enamel box, which was cunningly hand-painted with beauteous flowers and lifelike birds and inscribed with a thought as lovely as its decorations. A pleasing gift given with sincerity. Inside, in the lid, carefully protected from the powdery tobacco by thin glass, was a miniature portrait of his beloved Georgina. He sighed at the beauty of his beloved wife in the little painting, carefully took a pinch of the special blend shipped to him secretly from the Real Fabrica de Tabacos in Seville, their most exclusive and expensive blend, Polvo Especial de San Pedro, and put it to his nose. He carefully closed up the little mauve-bottomed box and replaced it in his vest pocket. He then pulled the lace handkerchief from the cuff of his jacket and held it ready for the sneeze that was certain to make itself known. There it was. He wiped his nose and replaced the frilly little square into his sleeve. The lordly-looking gentleman was a captain, long retired to a career as a shipbuilder. He had planned, financed, and supervised the construction of many ships since he had left the sea himself, from stolid, reliable merchantmen to 2- and sometimes 3-decked, fully rigged ships that served as privateers and private hunters, and occasionally as ships of the line. He was most proud of a ship he had built at Harwich and commissioned there, a third-rate, more beautiful and swift, and dangerous, if truth be told, than the HMS Sussex, the pride of the Royal Navy and the flagship of Admiral Sir Francis Wheeler. Wheeler's Sussex had been an 80-gun, 3-decked ship of the line, 157 feet long and 41 abeam. She was lost along with 12 other ships of a 200-ship fleet when it ran into a terrible storm as the ships entered the Mediterranean Sea. Over 1,000 sailors had drowned along with the admiral, but Wheeler's body had been found on the eastern shore of Gibraltar's Rock, clad in his nightshirt, appearing at first to only be blessedly asleep. But the captain's pride, the Golden Vanity, had been built for other purposes, blazingly fast, with 2 decks and 74 guns. The Vanity had been built pursuant to the instructions of the Lord of the Admiralty and the opportunities presented in the most expeditious manner to harass and annoy the Spanish pirates that caused such depredations to our colonists and their dependents from the lowlands of Virginia south to the Isles of Bermuda, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean. She was to sail to the Americas and find and sink those pirates that harried the ships of the British Empire so in those waters. The Golden Vanity's first port of call was a backwater village in the Chesapeake Bay, the little colonial capital of Annapolis, there to do the bidding of the governor, and if he had no pressing need of her, then to travel southward along the coast until the Spanish she should meet. The cunning and cruel Charles Vane, the frightening Edward Teach, and his devil ship Queen Anne's Revenge, and the gentleman pirate Stede Bonnet were plying the waters off the Outer Banks, but the Maryland governor had the Chesapeake well in hand. He had captured the piratical trio Davis, Wafer, and Hinson, sent William Kidd to England to be hanged, and was hot on the trail of the blackguard Theophilus Turner. But since that damned Spanish ambassador had told his king that Virginia was so perfect for piratical excursions, the Virginia lowlands were rife with seafaring scum, some of them English colonials, and others Spaniards. Near the mouth of the Chesapeake, Roger McKeel took whatever ships and booty was easiest, a ship's cargo of tobacco and the clothing of its crew. The daring William Dampier began his nefarious career in Virginia before he circumnavigated the globe, taking his piracy as far as he could get from the reach of the Royal Navy as quickly as he could. And Edward Davis and his 1,000 pirates began their rampages before they sailed south to the jungles of Panama and the frozen wastelands at the tip of South America. Some pirates were less successful than others. One Blas Miguel and his lieutenant attacked French settlements, sacking the towns, killing the men and raping the women. For once, the French were valiant and successful in their retribution. These pirates were captured, and the ones who lived to stand trial were broken on the wheel, hanged, and then decapitated. Further south, from his lair in Florida, Capitan Nicolas de Concepcion sailed his brigantine to Virginia, taking smaller vessels like the sloops Mary and the Planter. But he and most of his crew escaped the efforts of the British Navy. But there was a Spanish privateer, Miguel Enriquez, who called himself Caballero and Captain of the Land and the Seas, but whose victims called him the Shoemaker. He began to amass a fleet of the ships, capturing almost 24 ships who once flew the flags of the Netherlands, England, and the Virgin Islands. His flagship he christened La Perla, and it was to capture this rare pearl that the Golden Vanity was sent.